Breaking news. Sean Diddy Combs' verdict is in. He's been acquitted of the biggest charges, racketeering and sex trafficking.
Thank you.
He was found guilty of lesser charges. Hey, guess who predicted that? We did. And when did we predict it? As soon as we found out that James Comey's daughter, the former corrupt leader of the FBI, his daughter, who also handled the Ghislaine Maxwell case, it was sent over to. So she's the mop-up person for the deep state. James Comey is the deep state. His daughter is also. And so here's the key takeaways. He was acquitted of racketeering and sex trafficking charges today. He was found guilty of 2 lesser charges of transportation and former girlfriends for prostitution.
Nice. The prayer does work, Jimmy.
So the stuff that the verdict is seen as a victory for Combs, who was cleared of the most serious charges against him. His defense team opted not to call witnesses before arresting. That's because they didn't have to, because they knew the fix was in. The fix was in. This is all theater. The judge is yet to decide if Combs will be released pending sentencing. The defense requested that Combs be released today on a $1 million secured bond, subject to the conditions that he surrender his passport and limit his travel to specific jurisdictions in California, Florida, New York, and New Jersey. Prosecutors said they will seek a 4 to 5 year prison sentence. After all this, they're going to seek that's what they're going to seek. 4 to 5 year. The guy was Epstein level corrupt.
Well, that's why. Running
an organization at Epstein level. And this is, of course, why. Because he's got goods on them. And that it's not entitled to release the child, prove that he repeatedly violated. Okay, blah, blah.
Hey, you remember Bernie Kornfeld?
No.
Another guy with a harem of girls, just like Epstein. Big pro-Israel guy back in the 70s. And he had a house of girls, just like Hugh Hefner and Bob Guccione and the guy from Hustler. Remember, and they're all pimps. All of them are pimps. And they made it like they're just these rich guys that they have 50 girlfriends, which looking back now, it's kind of obvious. They're all part of Intel. There's no rich guy that has 60 girlfriends that, hey, come to my house and bang some of these girls. They're just doing that to be cool.
Right.
That's to get dirt.
So a spokesperson for Combs, I have breaking news. A spokesperson for Combs says that he plans to celebrate the verdict at home with his family in a big weird Satan orgy. So everybody's trying to bend over backwards to figure out how this could be the verdict. What is the wind direction? Was it some social influence? Most likely it's because all those drawers have received a brand new car along with a body in the trunk as a little reminder of who they're dealing with. All those jurors have received a brand new car along with a body in the trunk as a little reminder of who they're dealing with. So
I'll bet you they didn't have to do that. I bet you his son recycled the plastic and threw out the pizza boxes like his dad said in that phone call. Because you saw those tapes and digital evidence they got out of his... Did any of that come up in the trial? No.
None of it did.
And so we already know who...
And let's remember, Kurt, that Diddy is not the scary part of this scenario. It's the guests at his parties that are the scary part. Look at what public perception can do to a career, especially now that Tom Hanks is relegated to playing thug number 3 in a bar fight scene somewhere.
Is he? I thought he's been such a good agent.
So here, our friend Viva Fry, he called this a while ago. Let's watch.
You have this entire blackmail extortion ring. They went and raided Diddy's house. There were cameras there. We know that it involves, the higher ups in the entertainment industry, if not the world of politics as well. And this entire prosecution is reduced to P. Diddy and what we know of his abuse of Cassie and potentially Jane. And then once you flesh out the fact that for whatever the reason, Maureen Comey, James Comey's daughter, is still involved as one of this trial. This trial is a show trial because they're going to get him on something. It might just be the, trafficking for prostitution purposes, which seems undeniable. Send him away for 10 years. Maybe he gets out after 8. And then you've successfully covered up the entire extortion ring that P. Diddy was running, much like what they did with Epstein.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So, as Alex Jones said, he's been convicted of stuff that's legal in Vegas. Turn up, Kurt. So, you want to hear it? Here's Alex Jones's take. Let's see. Is this going to work?
Completely legal in places like Las Vegas. So, what really happened here?
What really happened, Alex?
Well, the mere fact that James Comey's daughter was given the case out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of federal prosecutors, and that she's given all of the Epstein-related stuff, Ghislaine Maxwell, a whole bunch of other ones, it all gets handed to her because Daddy is on record as the controller of the, not just Epstein files and videos, but all the other big sex trafficking, pedophilia operations, just like J. Edgar Hoover used that for control. And Diddy was heavily involved with people that were above Epstein. And so clearly she went in just like she did in all these other cases, I mean dozens. And she minimizes it and contains it. And now you notice they've had these other big lawyers pushing for Trump to pardon Ghislaine, which would be totally insane. And then I really would think maybe Trump is in some files we don't know about, but never seen evidence of that so far. But the fact that's been floated to him is, as Roger Stone said, the worst idea ever heard in his life. So there's not just smoke, there's fire here. And so normally I wouldn't just cover this. It was some rich, billionaire at one point rapper engaged in a bunch of pimping or whatever. I mean, my God, Snoop Dogg admits he was a pimp for many years. No, this is pedo stuff. I mean, my God, he's had like Justin Bieber when he's like 14 going, yeah, baby, we had some fun tonight. Yeah, you like it. We can't tell people what we do here on the island, but it's a lot of fun, isn't it? I mean, it's sick stuff. But the fact they sent Comey in, who controls the Epstein file, it's CIA Mossad. It's all coming up on the other side. You know what's going on?
So, Diddy. Remember everybody said Diddy was cooked?
Yeah.
But he's certainly a slippery character, that Diddy, isn't he? I'll tell you. In fact, I bet right now he's getting all oiled up for his big release.
That slippery guy.
He's a slippery guy. So there you go. As predicted, as soon as we heard James Comey's daughter was on this case, we knew the fix was in, and the fix is in.
Yeah, Whitey Webb called it as well. I can't remember who else, but I mean, anybody that paid any attention to who was involved in the Ghislaine thing, why is James Comey a guy that I thought was going to jail after his death threats to Trump?
Right.
Why is his family involved in anything? Why has nobody gone to jail since Trump got in? Does anybody ask that? Nobody's gone to jail. We deported some people to the wrong country. I feel like less than satisfied with that.
I feel very less than satisfied with this. They talked about a little bit on NBC.
This is coming in real time, and we have count one here. This is the racketeering charge. We have the count here of not guilty on racketeering. This is coming in real time. We have count two also coming in here, not guilty. That is the sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura. Count three, we have guilty. Count three is guilty for the transportation of Cassie Ventura. That is guilty. Count four, this is the sex trafficking of Jane. That's a pseudonym. Not guilty. Count five, we have guilty. That is 5 counts. We have a mixed verdict here. Again, count one, as it relates to racketeering, not guilty. Count two, as it relates to sex trafficking, not guilty. Count three, guilty. Count four, not guilty. Count five, guilty.
So
transportation to engage in prostitution. Again, legal.
The racist one.
Legal in Vegas.
The one to get Jack Johnson, the black boxer, he always did really pale white women, they made up a special rule for him.
That's right. That's coming from over 100 years ago.
And so you could get them on real trafficking, but they're not gonna, because that implicates
a lot of people.
Brothers. Remember those guys? The ones that made the thing about Joe Rogan over the pandemic?
Oh, really?
Ron Burkle, the big producer, of course, Hillary, most of the DNC. See, I don't get why they covered this up, because I thought the Democrats are done. Trump and blobbity blop and Tim Pool said blah, blah, blah. Nothing. The system saves the system.
Now, we should bring up here, Misty, all of these counts have a range of different sentences.
I don't want to. I just think that this cop should maybe think about a sit-up. Anyway.
There's a range of different evidentiary burdens, a range of different outcomes we could have had here. But it is a mixed verdict, if you will.
It's a mixed verdict, but it is a stunning victory for the defense.
Stunning
the
victory.
Mann Act, these charges, these were the easiest for prosecutors to prove, the lowest hanging fruit, merely required showing that state lines were crossed for the purpose to engage in prostitution. We saw a lot of evidence on these charges, did not have that element, Laura, of force, fraud, or coercion. And this carries the lightest sentence of these charges. It is a maximum of 10 years. And keep in mind, when you're talking about maximums aren't the rule. They are the exception. They're for the most exceptional and severe cases. So now you're talking about a sentence that's potentially in the lower range with time served because he's been behind bars. The fact that these sex trafficking charges, specifically with respect to Cassie Ventura, means that the jury was convinced by the defense, at least with respect to reasonable doubt, that the commercial sex, i.e. the freak-offs, were not connected to some of this violence, that there was not that force, fraud, or coercion element. That is by far, from a penalty perspective, the most serious. It carried a 15-year minimum. So that is a huge distinction. This is the best case scenario, in my view, for the defense. A lot of us opined yesterday that when the jury asked for a readback of Cassie Ventura and Daniel Phillips, one of the escorts.
So again, this was the best case scenario for Diddy, and he got it. And it was predicted not only by Viva Fry, not only by us, not only by Whitey Webb, but a lot of people. As soon as we found out that James Comey's daughter was in charge of this, we knew it was Maureen Comey.
So you see her face. She looks like someone that mops up at a pervert orgy.
Yes.
Oh, time for Maureen. Come and clean up.
Hey, are prescription drug prices just too high? It doesn't make sense. The same medications cost a fraction of the price in other countries, yet here in the United States, people are skipping the meds they need because they can't afford them. And that's not right. And that's why President Trump recently signed a new executive order to lower the cost of prescription drugs. It's a big move, and it shows that change is coming. But here's the reality. These kinds of policy changes take time, but All Family Pharmacy is not waiting. They're taking action now, giving you a 20% discount on all medications through June 30th to support this mission and help Americans get access today. You can order everything from antibiotics, ivermectin, and hydroxychloroquine to methylene blue and your daily maintenance meds. Over 200 medications available, no insurance needed, doctor's prescriptions included. Shipped fast and direct to your door. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/door and use promo code DOOR20 to get 20% off. This is real healthcare, lower prices, better access, and no waiting around. Again, that's allfamilypharmacy.com/door and use code DOOR20 to get 20% off. Let's take our health into our own hands and make America healthy again. Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Toronto, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts, Concord, New Hampshire, Oxnard, California, Rutherford, New Jersey, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.